Hey there, I'm Eitan, and welcome back to the Wix Wiz. It's April 2nd, 2024, and this is the last week on Wix. Okay, so in the Wix Studio department, we have a few announcements, nothing too interesting in my opinion. We have here some new wireframes for sections, something that we've seen also in the other editors before, just these kind of like pre-built designs that you can use to like kickstart your design. Doesn't hurt, but not too crazy, nothing too interesting. We also have a build along video series, Wix Studio Academy. I haven't checked it out yet. Just kind of like more design focused, just showing you how to replicate certain designs. So if you're interested in design, you can go ahead and check that out as well. Beyond that, the really important news, not specifically Wix Studio, is this right over here, that the Wix Online Programs is becoming a premium app. So online programs is kind of how you can organize, let's say, a course. I actually use it for the course on my website as well. And it lets you kind of create different modules and lessons and have video and stuff like that, quizzes. And it from now on, it is only going to be available for people with premium Wix website. So you'll be able to probably add the app in, if I'm not mistaken. There's an article here, you can go ahead and read it if you want to learn more. But basically, you won't be able to actually accept payments and for people to join the online programs unless you have a premium Wix website. And I mean, this is important because if you're using online programs on a free Wix website, then you're going to have an issue. Anyways, you probably couldn't accept payments until now, but maybe you had a free online program on your site. So I don't think that that's going to work either. I think people won't be able to join the online program at all. Again, I do recommend checking the details, and there is a short while till June 1st, so things might still change. But this is pretty important, not only just for the plain old reason of people needing to maybe possibly make a change to their website, but the fact that Wix is designating a certain app as a premium app. If I'm not mistaken, please leave a comment if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that Wix is making an app a premium app. So Wix has a bunch of different free business solutions that they offer. Some of them do require a premium site to accept payments, let's say like Wix stores, Wix bookings, pricing plans, etc. But they all allow you to add the actual app to your website and access full free functionality without having to upgrade your Wix website. This is the first time that the entire experience of an app will be completely, blocked off to people who don't have a premium website. It's a turn of events. I don't really know how to interpret this. I don't know if this is a one-off thing. I don't know why it's happening. But I do hope that it's not a trend, because that would be unfortunate. One of the reasons that I really, really appreciate Wix is that you can really do a lot on the free website. Obviously, they're a business and they need people to upgrade to premium so that they can make money and continue building tools. But I think that the fact that you can experience almost the entirety of the platform just on a free website and all you're really limited to is having advertising on top, I think that that is a big game changer in terms of what made me initially lean towards Wix. It really lets you kind of get comfortable with the platform before having to make any kind of monetary commitment. And I think that this is possibly like a slightly dangerous trend from my perspective. Like if they decide to close up more things so that they're not available to free for free, as we saw some trends recently, like with the data limiting and just the use of the CMS and storage. But at least you do get a taste of those things for free. But here we really do see kind of a complete block on an app for non-free websites. That means like essentially it'll be very hard for you to experience the app and see if it's working for you before you decide to upgrade your website. So just an important thing to know in general if you're using online programs, and an interesting thing to note in terms of maybe a change in approach and strategy from the Wix side, and we'll have to see how that plays out. Okay, so now for the juicy stuff that we really care about, the dev news. This is mostly news relating to developers who are developing for the Wix app marketplace or using blocks, but we do have some interesting Velo tidbits or maybe Velo divinations that we can get out of this here as well. Um, First of off, we have the app templates, which we talked about last week, so you can go watch that video if you want to learn more. Not that we talked too much about it, but we did mention it. This is cool. New and easier OAuth flow. Anytime somebody tells me that authentication is going to get easier, I'm really, really happy because I think that authentication is kind of like the gateway to the internet and web apps, and it can really be quite complex. I mean, I have built out just some apps for fun using the old OAuth flow, and it's quite tedious, going back and forth, redirecting, getting tokens and handshakes and whatnot. So it's definitely nice to know that there's an easier thing out there. I haven't tried it yet, obviously, but it's definitely something I'll be taking a look at over the next few weeks. We have new dashboard modals. This is interesting to me particular. Again, this is not a Velo API yet. Because I was kind of experimenting with the plugins, which is like a beta on Wix for inserting, if you're familiar with the SPIs, so think of it as kind of like a visual SPI within one of the Wix apps. So for example, you can imagine the checkout page on the Wix stores. So essentially what the plugin will do is allow you to insert your own UI and own logic into the checkout page flow in certain spots that they have allocated on the page. I tried to experiment with a little bit. It is like in a beta, alpha beta, I don't know what you want to call it. But I did get stuck because I was trying to implement it using blocks and I couldn't open this certain modal because it wasn't accessible via the Velo APIs. And it's kind of related to this. I mean, usually, and I'm going to talk about this in a moment as well, the REST APIs precede the Velo APIs. So whenever there's an update in the REST API, it's likely that an update to the Velo API is somewhere down the line. I don't know if it's weeks, months, probably not years, but hopefully the fact that they're just announcing the modal extension here means that it's quite new. So it might be coming to Velo as well, and that would essentially allow you to open these modals from blocks as well, and then possibly gain access to that checkout plugin somewhere down the line. But yeah, that's just kind of what this brought to mind for me. We also have some other block related updates here. So we have color and font input elements. Here I'm a little disappointed because I had requested for them to put in a date input, which I think is much more critical than to me. I mean, I'm not sure what people are doing with these color and kind of, text, what is it, text color? I don't know. Anyway, these design inputs, I don't know exactly, also font input elements. I don't know what people exactly are doing with them, but to me, especially because I needed it for my app, but it seems like a date picker would be a little higher priority than these. Maybe it's more complex to implement. They're working on it, I hope. I don't know. But yeah, so here, like, it's awesome that they have new stuff, but I'm a little disappointed that the date picker didn't get higher priority than this stuff. But yeah, hopefully it's down the line. Next up, also a Wix block topic, speed up your app's approval. Again, striking very close to heart. I've submitted my first app that I submitted took them about a week to review the first time. Obviously, I got a lot of feedback and fixed that stuff up. And as I've been submitting apps, I've been getting less feedback, but the time that it takes them to approve or even get back with that small feedback that they have has greatly increased. So it's supposed to, according to what they say, it's supposed to be about a week. That's about what it was the first time I submitted an app. The last app that I submitted took closer to a month just to get, initial feedback. Luckily, that one was submitted to the app market directly. It's the new PDF generator app for those of you who have been following and are interested in that. But basically, it's a bit of a problem because you want your app because even after getting the feedback, sometimes you have to change stuff and then submit it again and then wait. So it could be a process of more than a month, 2 months, who knows how long until you actually get your app submitted. And this little app update that they have here, that they have essentially an article which explains some things that you should be doing in order to get your app approved more quickly, indicates, or not indicates, but makes me think that it's quite likely that they're getting bombarded with people submitting block related apps to the app market because it's really very easy. And a lot of the people submitting, maybe they're like me, they're submitting for the first time and they don't really. There are a bunch of things that you have to do, like not even related to building your app, but like just surrounding things, like the marketing stuff and the images and the description, and they can be a little nitpicky sometimes about some of these things. And then I'm guessing that they're getting a lot of, again, not low quality apps, but like beginner apps. Not necessarily, again, in the structure of the app itself, but people who are new to the app market. And so they are spending a lot of time going through these apps, and they really have this like huge workload, and that's why my app took so long to approve. But I don't know, it's just speculation, but that's what this kind of makes me think. I do hope that this helps and that we can get back to kind of about a week long approval, because I have a bunch of app ideas that I was working on, and to tell you the truth, like the fact that you have to wait a month for the app to get approved kind of takes the winds out of your sail a little bit. You want to launch your app, you want to get feedback from users, you want to see if it's, test the market and stuff. So if, you hit snags when you're getting your app to approve, it can kind of make you think twice about building apps for the app market. So I really do hope that it speeds up in the near future. Small tidbit for, again, app market stuff. You have to add a contact number for security. Not so interesting. Here's a few other things that are interesting as well. So the site editor URL, basically a way to allow you to redirect the user to the editor itself, from within your app if you need them to do something in the editor from the app. I didn't really think of a specific use case or example that I could give, but something that's worth looking into. The more interesting thing here for me is these three new APIs. So Operations API for restaurants, Service Fee API for restaurants, and Fulfillment Methods API for restaurants. Again, these are all the REST API. So if we just go ahead and follow this link here, this is all kind of inside the REST API over here. See, it says REST up here. And those are the APIs that you use with applications. So not Velo APIs, not the APIs that you use on your site itself. But if you remember what I said earlier, usually the REST APIs precede the Velo APIs. That means that if something came out as a REST API, it is very likely that it will come out in the near future as a Velo API. And the Restaurants API, if we take a look at it here, so we really only have access to this one part over here. So the Wix tables reservations. So it's really like a very small part of that app. And hopefully this is an indicator that they're opening up more of the restaurant app APIs. To be honest, I haven't played around with it so much because I tend to do customizations and stuff like that. And since there isn't a lot of access to restaurant APIs, I haven't gotten a lot of requests for it, or maybe people are not actually using the restaurants app. So let me know in the comments, are you using the restaurant app inside of your Wix website? If you are, do you need a customization, and what is the customization that you need? Maybe I can help, or maybe the APIs that are coming out in the future will be able to help. And that's really where we're going to wrap up for today. I hope you found this update interesting. Not much on the Velo side, but a few kind of Wix Studio tidbits and a lot in the Wix app developer world. So it's really, I see that they're putting a lot of emphasis on it recently. So I'm definitely going to be spending more of my time on building apps as well. If you found this video interesting, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up so I know that we should continue making this kind of video. If you want to actually see more of this kind of video or other tutorials related to Wix and Velo where we actually hop into these APIs and stuff and show how to use them, then do consider subscribing to the channel, and I will see you next time.